Take a look around you. The world is full of scientific marvels. From the atomic building blocks of life to the deepest depths of outer space, there are a lot of things to awe over. Add your body to the list. Yes, the human body is truly an incredible specimen. Don't believe it? Take a look at these 24 facts about the human body. Number 24. If the lining of mucus were to disappear from your stomach would digest itself. The stomach does not digest itself because it is lined with epithelial cells, which produce mucus. This forms a barrier between the lining of the stomach and the contents. Enzymes, which make up part of the digestive juices, are also secreted by the stomach wall from glands with no mucus barrier. If the mucus is not secreted by the gastric glands, then the stomach wall will be destroyed by the acid, since the mucus protects the stomach wall from hydrochloric acid. Number 23. Each person sheds 22 kilograms of skin in his or her lifetime. According to a 2011 study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology, we shed between 0.03 and 0.09 grams of skin every hour. That sounds like almost nothing, but over the course of a lifetime it adds up to about 35 kilograms, or roughly half your body weight. Most of this is in the form of tiny flakes, which make up a major constituent of house dust. Interestingly, the same study found that the squalene oil on shed skin reacts with harmful ozone in houses, offices, and airplanes, so dust can actually improve the air quality. Number 22. More germs are transferred shaking hands than kissing. An investigation in the Netherlands found that a 10-second intimate kiss transfers about 80 million bacteria. A Welsh investigation found that handshakes transfer around 124 million bacteria and suggest fist bumps may be a safer alternative for germaphobes. Number 21. Your heart beats 100,000 times a day. Depending on your beats per minute, your heart beats about 100,000 times a day. That means it sends 2,000 gallons of blood through the body. If you use an average of 80 beats per minute, your heart beats about 4,800 times per hour. That's a whopping 115,200 times per day. Over the course of a year, your heart would beat about 42,048,000 times. If you live to be 80 years old, your heart would have beaten approximately 3,363,840,000 times. That's over 3 billion heartbeats. What a muscle. Number 20. A fetus only acquires fingerprints at the age of 3 months. Our fingerprints are totally unique. Not even identical twins share the same fingerprints. How they form is very interesting, and you are spot on. Fingerprints develop in the embryo before a baby is born. A person's fingerprints are formed when they are a tiny developing baby in their mother's womb. Pressure on the fingers from the baby touching and their surroundings create what are called friction ridges, the faint lines you see on your fingers and toes. These ridges are completely formed by the time a fetus is 6 months old, and that's 3 months before the baby is born. Number 19. Acne in adults. Guys are more likely than girls, by a ratio of 3 to 2, to have bad acne. Although acne is principally a disorder of adolescence, the number of adult patients with acne is increasing. Adult acne is defined as the presence of acne beyond the age of 25 years. There is relatively few data on the prevalence and studies of acne in the adult population. Number 18. We share 98.4% of our DNA with a chimp and 70% with a slug. It's probably not that surprising to learn that humans share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees. But incredibly, we also share 70% of our DNA with slugs and 50% with bananas. Number 17. Music affects a baby's brain. Human fetuses react to loud rock music by kicking. Number 16. At just 12 weeks, the human fetus can scowl and squint. Yes, your baby has 10 fingers and 10 toes, no more webbing, and each of us hair begins to grow on tender skin. His intestines, which have grown so fast that they protrude into the umbilical cord, move back into his abdominal cavity now. Number 15. Human bones, joints, and muscles facts. If you remove the minerals from a bone by soaking it overnight in a 6% solution of hydrochloric acid, it will become so soft you could tie it in a knot. Number 14. 1 out of every 200 people are born with an extra rib. Each adult has 206 bones, 24 of which are ribs, 12 on each side. But approximately 1 of every 200 people have an extra rib. This rib is referred to as the cervical rib. A cervical rib is present at birth and it forms above the first rib, growing at the base of the neck, just above the collarbone. You can have a cervical rib on the right, left, or both sides. It may be a fully formed bony rib or a thin strand of tissue fibers that in some cases doesn't even show up on an X-ray. Number 13. Bones fuse together as we age. When you were born, you had 300 bones. Now you have 206 if you're an adult. The rest of the bones have not disappeared. They have merely fused together. Number 12. The female egg cell is the largest cell in the human body. It is about 175,000 times heavier than the smallest cell, the male sperm cell. Number 11. The average person has about 100,000 scalp hairs. The number of hairs that someone has on their head can vary by individual. However, the average person has about 100,000 hairs on their head at one time. You have more than 100,000 hairs on your head, but you lose some every day. About 50 to 100 hairs fall out each day while you're washing your hair, brushing or combing it, or just sitting still. But don't worry, new hairs are constantly replacing those that have fallen out. Number 10. The upside-down image. When you look at an object, the image of that object appears upside down on your retina. However, your brain automatically corrects for this, allowing you to perceive that object right side up. Number 9. Enamel, found on our teeth, is the hardest substance in the human body. The shiny white enamel that covers your teeth is even stronger than bone. This resilient surface is 96% mineral, the highest percentage of any tissue in your body, making it durable and damage-resistant. Number 8. Aspirin and alcohol can be absorbed directly into the bloodstream through the stomach lining. The stomach absorbs very few substances, although small amounts of certain lipid-soluble compounds can be taken up, including aspirin, other non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory drugs, and ethanol. Number 7. Feet facts. The soles of your feet contain more sweat glands and more pressure-sensitive nerve endings per square inch than any other part of your body. Number 6. Like fingerprints, every person has a unique tongue print. The tongue is unique to every person with respect to its shape and surface textures. Since it is an internal organ, it can be easily exposed for inspection, and the exposed surface carries the required information. The physiological texture and shape remain constant. Number 5. The kidneys filter your blood up to 300 times per day. Every day, all of the blood in your body, between 5 and 6 liters, passes through the kidneys about 300 times. So your kidneys filter about 1,700 liters of blood per day in total. This leads to the daily production of about 170 liters of primary urine, glomerular filtrate, which later becomes urine. Number 4. During the first 6 weeks of life, there is no difference between the male and female embryo. During early development, the gonads of the fetus remain undifferentiated. That is, all fetal genitalia are the same and are phenotypically female. After approximately 6 to 7 weeks of gestation, however, the expression of a gene on the Y chromosome induces changes that result in the development of the testes. Number 3. Human fingers stretch and bend about 25 million times in a normal lifetime. The fingers on one hand are bent and stretched about 25 million times over the course of a lifetime. Our hands also have a very sensitive antennae for receiving information from the environment. There are a total of 17,000 touch receptors and free nerve endings in the palm. Number 2. There are 37.2 trillion cells in your body. Scientists have come a long way in estimating the number of cells in the average human body. Most recent estimates put the number of cells at about 30 trillion. Written out, that's got 13 zeros. They actually broke down the number of cells by organs and cell types, going through the literature available to come up with a detailed list of volumes and densities in everything from intestines to knees. So, for example, there are 50 billion fat cells in the average body and 2 billion heart muscle cells. Adding all those up, they got 37.2 trillion. And this doesn't include any of the millions of microbes living on you, by the way. Number 1. Tooth decay has led to 60% of adult Americans losing their upper right middle molar. But once those permanent teeth come in, we hope they stay in place. Unfortunately, permanent teeth can become loose and even fall out. A knocked out permanent tooth is called an avulsed tooth, and it's one of the most serious dental emergencies we encounter. Do let us know in the comments if you know about any other interesting facts. Which of them amazed you the most? Thanks for watching.